Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we are going to be reacting to a brand new video here on the channel called American Foods That Are Banned in Other Countries. So yeah man, without further ado, this is going to be interesting bro, because I live in Portugal, as you guys know, or if you don't know, now you know, you get me? So we have very different laws here because of the European Union with food and everything. So it's going to be interesting to see what foods are that you guys eat in America that we don't have here, or we have but we just have different recipes for stuff. That, like what happens in McDonald's, in all the fast food chains, for example, we don't have the thing called pizza cheese. Do you know what I mean? We have actual cheese, for example. So yeah, let's go.
Most Americans want to believe that the United States is the gold standard of clean food.
It really
But
isn't.
that belief may not hold up to scrutiny.
Yep,
From
it really
unsanitary
isn't.
practices in mass production to the addition of dangerous chemicals, countries have good reason to give the side eye to imported foods claiming to be USDA approved. That's right. This week we're talking about. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food
Hey,
channel.
go subscribe to them,
Then
man.
leave a comment and tell us what other world food facts you would like to know more about. Now let's see how wrong the rest of the world really is.
Skittles, wow! Did not know
Since
that.
the dawn of
We have Skittles here.
there have been rumors about the dangers of eating them. Every one of us heard at least one classmate claim that the red ones make you sterile, and the yellow ones, they give you cancer. Turns out, it might be worse than that. First of all, your classmate wasn't wrong. The dyes known as Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 have been linked to hives and hyperactivity in children.
Okay.
Sweden and Norway have banned the candies out of concern. The European Union will most likely be banning Skittles at the end of the year, having already swapped out some of the dye for more natural flavors. This is
Yeah.
because of something called titanium dioxide, which can be found making the colors pop.
Bro, you man have titanium dioxide, yeah, on Skittles. You man are wild,
Across
yeah.
the rainbow.
America's
Research
different,
linked
bro.
titanium dioxide
But
to
yeah,
damage
majority
DNA,
of
which
banned
can lead
foods
to
are
cancer.
on the northern
While Europe
countries
may
because
be
they're
ahead of the
really
Skittles
advanced.
awareness
And
curve,
they really
America
take
is
these things
quickly catching
seriously.
up. In May of 2021, the Environmental Working Group asked the FDA to categorize titanium dioxide as toxic. And yes, before you ask, right now the FDA says it's okay to consume some of that chemical compound.
Okay.
You can taste the rainbow, but just
Nah,
in
man.
moderation.
Fuck off.
California is home to an ongoing lawsuit against Mars Inc., the parent company of Skittles. The lawsuit claims Skittles are not only toxic, but are unfit for human consumption.
Wow.
So maybe for now, play it safe. Just go have some Swedish fish instead.
Hey, Swedish fish are good, man. They are good. Good candy. Not bread, bro. No bread.
Ever looked at a
Charlie.
piece of crusty French baguette, be it in cartoon or in real life? But let's be honest, it was probably in the hands of Pepe Le Pew, and think, I can't make a sandwich with that. As great as we talk about the invention of sliced bread, a lot of European countries have actually banned much of what you'd find on America's wide grocer shelves.
Damn, bro.
That's because we make a lot of our bread not just with grain, but with a variety snap packs worth of additives.
Why?
Azodicarbonamide.
For example, I can give you one example that just popped up to my mind. I was watching Food Wars, another brilliant channel, and they were comparing the McDonald's from America and the UK. The UK being in the European Union, so they obey by those laws in food as well. So, for example, just for the fries, in the UK, the ingredients were oil, salt, potato. 3 ingredients, yeah? For America, bro, it was like a whole list of ingredients just for the fries. I was like, this is
Which
wild.
helps bleach flour and
So yeah,
strengthen dough.
fast food here
Fun fact
in the
about
European Union
azodicarbonamide,
is
it's also used
healthier
in a spectrum
than it
of
is
industrial
in
products,
America.
including yoga mats.
So yeah, because we don't put all those
Downward
chemicals that
dogs.
you man put there.
The European Union is
What?
really against the
What
idea
did you
of
just
its
say?
citizens eating
Did you just
worth
say?
of additives.
Okay.
Like azodicarbonamide,
Okay.
for example, which helps bleach flour and strengthen dough.
Okay.
Fun fact about azodicarbonamide, it's also used in a spectrum of industrial products,
No.
including yoga mats.
You man are eating yoga mats in your
Downward
bread.
dogs.
Nah.
The European Union is really against the idea of its citizens eating
Wild.
yoga mat material and has
Yep.
banned their use in food products.
Yes. Pork. Oh yeah, because of
Pork,
contamination.
the other
shit,
white
yeah.
meat, is
Makes
a
sense.
staple of American
This
meats,
actually
along
makes
with
sense.
chicken, fish, and beef. From bacon to ham, hot dogs to
Oh.
pork chops. American meat eaters consume about 67 pounds of pig per person every year.
Damn!
Zooey, my heart is
Whoa!
stopping. Don't get us wrong, other nations indulge in swine just as much, if
Yes.
not more, than Americans. So why doesn't the U.S. export scores of succulent bacon-bearing boars? Well, it turns out America adds a lot of chemicals during processing. Ractopamine in particular is used in many
Ractopamine,
pig
bro.
farms to raise porkier porkers. Ractopamine, which we put a dash of in a lot of foods, has been banned in 160 countries, which all consider the drug unsafe for human consumption.
Holy shit!
This in turn has led to a prohibition
Oh.
of pork exports across the world. The EU hasn't touched the stuff since outlawing ractopamine in 2009.
Yep.
China and Russia have been ractopamine-less since 2013. Maybe that's because ractopamine has the same effects as an intoxicant on humans and can cause
Jesus.
tachycardia, headaches, and muscle spasms if consumed in large enough quantities. But it is a small price to pay for a perfect piece of the pork.
Nah, man, it's a big price to pay.
Hygiene in America often comes down to dousing stuff in a chlorine bath and calling it FDA approved, and chicken is no exception. Pathogen reduction treatments, or PRTs, refer to the use of different chemicals to destroy harmful microbes on raw meat. Somewhere along the line,
Bro, human bathe your chickens in chlorine, bro.
American food regulators
You
decided
man,
that
be you in
chlorine
it.
shock was the best way to kill salmonella and other bacteria on uncooked poultry. Chlorine marinade.
This is
And look, it's
disgusting.
not that the EU is against taking a long gulp from the public pool now and then. In fact, the risks posed by chlorine consumption are relatively low.
They
The
are.
bigger concern is that the chlorine baths are just an eye-burning band-aid on a larger problem. The tip of the beak, so to speak. They're worried that the PRTs are insufficient to deal with more than just the normal bacteria and don't get at a potential contamination from things like low-quality feed to unsanitary coops on farms.
Oh,
The
okay.
EU called the chlorine
So it's
rinse
not-
an
okay.
easy fix, arguing no
Oh,
chemical
so it's
will
not a
ever remove all
chlorine
bacteria from
thing,
being heavily
is
contaminated as a
you're
result of
pretending
poor
to
hygiene.
care by bathing them
That
in
hurts
chlorine.
extra to hear.
Okay, I get it.
French.
Okay. Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew
think
is
we
the
have it
closest
here.
any soft drink has
Like,
come to being
it's not
fully
common.
weaponized. But did you know in Austria and Norway, the soda is outright banned? That's because Mountain Dew's signature Chernobyl radiant hue comes from tartrazine,
Oh,
also known
no.
as yellow 5. And if your ADHD hasn't kicked in yet, you'll remember that color and number from the Skittles section earlier.
Yes.
It's been linked to headaches, hyperactivity, and the desire to be annoying to other people.
Wow.
Ironically, the qualities that make Mountain Dew a soda
Okay.
non gratis in other countries is exactly what the brand promotes. A
Oh.
frenetic, over-caffeinated lifestyle. Do the do. Baja Blast. Woo-hoo. And while you might be able to find Mountain Dew in
But
Europe,
that's
it's
the
going
Food
to
Wars
hit
channel.
a little different. That's because Europe spent exactly 2 years in the 90s riding the dew before discontinuing it. What is being sold as Mountain Dew in the EU has a recipe closer to the original carbonated beverage, as created by Tennessee beverage bottlers Barney and Ollie Hartman in the 1940s. The original Mountain Dew was meant as a whiskey mixer, with a name coming
Oh.
from the affectionate Scottish term for moonshine.
Okay.
It'll tickle your innards, is
I
what
did
the
not
old
know
ads
that.
used to read. No lies detected here.
Yahoo! Mountain Dew!
Damn. Little Debbie. Those are sweets. I think.
Little Debbie has been providing Americans
Oof,
with
my
comfort
knee
snack
just
food
popped.
since the 1960s.
Yes,
with their
sweets.
variety of zebra cakes, star crunches, nutty bars, fudge rounds, and cosmic brownies.
Oh,
But
cosmic
their
brownies
big
do
claim to
look
fame, as
nice.
anyone who has ever had their lunch packed by a parent can attest, is the Little Debbie Swiss Rolls, a mixture of rich chocolate cake and butter-creamy filling. Over 900 million cartons of Little Debbie products are shipped each year, but none of those cartons go anywhere near Austria or Norway. Blame those rascally additives,
Yeah.
Yellow 5 and Red 40. Swiss rolls contain 32 milligrams of dye per product, and in those quantities, they've been shown to have an adverse effect on children.
Damn.
And we're not just talking about
Man,
causing
do it.
hyperactivity, although one study found that cutting all artificial food coloring from diets may be 1/2 as effective as prescribing kids Ritalin.
Oh
And while we
my
can't prove
god.
there's a direct connection between artificial food coloring
Jesus
and cancer,
Christ,
it does damage
that's
to the white blood cells,
wild.
causing them to mutate after only 3 hours. Exposure to these dyes could cause tumor cells to multiply way more rapidly. For that reason, researchers say a high chronic intake of food colorings throughout the entire life is not advisable. If only they weren't so delicious. Surprisingly, you can buy Little Debbie's Swiss rolls in the EU, but they come with warning labels advising parents of the potential dangers.
Wow,
of
it's like
You
a
know,
tobacco pack,
cigarettes.
bro. Oh my god. Jeez. I never
When
seen
you hear
Little
the
Debbie's
words
here.
banned breakfast cereal, you're
In
probably
Portugal,
imagining
say.
one of the countless kid-focused brands of sugary morsels, like the oh-so-delicious Cookie Crisp. So you might be surprised to learn that it's actually Special K, the most boring cereal on all of the earth,
Yeah.
that has been banned in Denmark and discouraged in the EU. How does the healthiest box of flakes on the shelf get banned, while stuff like Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch continue to enjoy free passage? Ironically, because of its supposed health benefits. In the UK, Special K has been put on blast by the Advertising Standards Authority for exaggerating how much folic acid they pack into portions. Though it's still legal to buy in Europe, Denmark has completely banned Special K since 2004 for all its fortified vitamins and minerals.
If it's banned on northern countries, bro, just go ahead and don't buy it. Just do that. They know
argue that
better.
Kellogg's
They
cereal's
actually know
unnaturally
better.
high levels of everything from vitamin A to zinc actually qualify Special K as a genetically modified organism.
Wow.
More specifically, Special K is swole with the same artificial compounds that studies have shown to potentially pose
I never
health
liked
risks,
I never liked
specifically to children
Kellogg's
and
cereals,
pregnant
bro.
women. In conclusion,
Tastes like the
you
box,
may want
man.
to stick with Crunch Berries.
I might as well eat the box. Just tastes like cardboard, bro. Disgusting.
You don't need to take a transcontinental flight to visit countries that have banned American foods. Just drive up to the Canadian border, flash your passport, and sign an affidavit saying you're not smuggling any steak tartare in your trunk. Today, consuming raw meat has fallen out of fashion in the US, much like other foods like veal and pâté, which don't make you sick but might make
so
you sad. But while baby cow and
Oh,
overstuffed goose
cute.
liver is illegal in parts of America now,
That's
tartare
disgusting.
is not. See, while veal and pâté may be uncool, they are also served hot, unlike tartare, which is chopped up cold meat straight from the cow. Undercooked or raw foods can lead to an increase in food poisoning and parasitic infections, especially in beef and poultry.
Bro,
But considering how fancy pants steak tartare is, Titanic.
you gotta put the meat in the fire, bro, just to take the demons out, man.
Food, one might say.
Just for that, just a
Countries might look
bit,
the
just
other
a
way and
tiny,
let
it's
the
not too
luxury
much, just a
delicacy
bit.
slide. And for a long time, they did. In Canada, meat has to reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, the equivalent of a medium rare steak, in order to be considered
Exactly, that's
safe
all
to
we
serve.
need.
But those rules aren't strictly enforced. That is, until recently. In 2021,
Bro, fish is
owners in New
we
Brunswick
know
selling
fish is
steak
okay,
tartare
unless
were
it's
all
puffer fish.
served
We know it's
cease and
okay to
desist
eat
letters.
raw tuna or raw
Canadian
salmon.
public health officials had decided that
This
amid
is
the
not
ongoing
okay.
health crisis of COVID-19, the last
Sorry.
thing their citizens needed was a side order of botulism.
Of course. The recipe here is drastically
Is there
different
anything
from you
more
guys there.
American than Coca-Cola? The fizz, the flavor, the former secret ingredient, cocaine.
Yep.
Coke is basically apple pie in beverage form. And it's not just Americans who are cuckoo for Coke. Invented by a pharmacist in 1886 Georgia, Coca
A pharmacist invented Coca-Cola. A pharmacist, bro.
Cola
Wild.
quickly caught on overseas.
Wild.
It was the World War II GI's drink of choice. Pre-pandemic, Coca-Cola had 500 brands in over 200 countries, making it the best-selling soft drink and one of the most recognizable brands of all time. But there will always be exceptions. And unlike the other entries on the list, for once, it has nothing
By the
to
way,
do with
Coca-Cola
health
on the
concerns.
glass bottle,
Everybody
it's
knows
the
that Coke
spot
is not
differently,
good for
bro.
you. We just decided collectively that we don't care. No, the countries that have outlawed the brand have done so because of what it represents, a symbol of the encroachment of American capitalism. From 1962 to 2011, the U.S. banned sales of Coke to Burma as part of sanctions against the military junta that ruled the country until 2011. It resumed sales in the country in 2012. Today, Coca-Cola is only unavailable in 2 countries with long-term trade embargoes with the U.S. North Korea hasn't allowed Coke since 1950, and the bubbly beverage has been banned in Cuba since Fidel Castro ceased supplies in 1962. First the prequels, now Coke. Is there anything that can't be ruined by the federalization of trade taxation? In a twist of irony and lime, Cuba was actually one of the first bottlers of the beverage outside of America. Today, Cuba Cola has replaced Coke as the country's soft drink of choice, though black market sales abound. After all, it is the birthplace of the Cuba Libre, aka the rum and Coke.
Really?
M&M's, the delicious melt-in-your-mouth, not-in-your-hand snacks, were originally a collaboration between the Scion Sons
kind
and
of
Mars
overrated,
and Hershey
to be
dynasties in 1941.
Kinda, not a lot.
M&M's gained
just a bit.
international fans during World War
There's
II,
better candy
as
out
American
there.
soldiers
Much better.
popularized the candy overseas as the chocolate that won't get your trigger finger all sticky. But you won't find the candy in Sweden, where it's banned due to a trademark conflict with a popular national candy that also features lowercase m's as its signature. When Mars introduced the candy to Sweden in 2009, a court ruled its marketing too similar to that of the Norwegian Marabous, which resemble Kit Kats. During World War I, Marabou had moved its manufacturing to its Swedish neighbors, where it received a royal warrant of appointment by the King of Sweden. And here we thought the Swiss were the chocolate snobs. Should you want to check out what
Swiss
the fuss
chocolate
is all about,
is different,
Marabou's is
bro.
sold in IKEA stores here in the U.S.
So good.
Well, at least it's good to know that M&Ms don't contain any harmful dyes or chlorine residue, right?
That's nice.
That's a pretty important victory for hard-shelled chocolate. So what do you think?
Let's
Which of
go.
these
What a
banned
great
foods
video.
sounds the most delicious?
Shout out to Weird History Foods, man. Shout out to them. Great video. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Go subscribe to Weird History Foods, man. They do a phenomenal work. And yeah, man. Shout out to all of you guys that subscribe to the channel, all to the new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you enjoy your stay. And yeah, but before you go, don't forget our new videos on the channel, man. Come on, bro. Keep God first as always. Drink water, go tell somebody you love them, and if you're here, you know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.